Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mother-in-Law Suite. This week, we have a good dear friend of mine back from all the way back from high school, even elementary school to some extent. Yeah, elementary school. My homie Leroy. How's it
Hello.
going, bro?
It's
How's it
doing
going,
pretty
bro?
well. It's a beautiful day, and thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, bro. How's the weather out there in Anchorage, Alaska? That's insane.
It's actually really nice out right now. It's like in the 60s, probably 50s right now. Actually, it's pretty chilly, but I mean for summer, it's pretty nice.
So, last time you were in Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were chilling. You're chilling with Sloan and Long, and I'm pretty sure you guys took a joyride in one of your vehicles. Did you not?
Yeah,
You guys
we drove all the way from Florida to Alaska.
jeez,
It
that's
took us
insane.
it took us about a month, and we drove through Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, California, all the way up to
What were some of your
Washington.
favorite stops?
I would say definitely like the most underrated national parks that we went to was like Big Bend in West Texas, West Southern Texas. It's really close to the border.
Mm-hmm.
That one was absolutely amazing because if you've ever been to any of the like more popular national parks like Grand Canyon or Zion, they feel sort of like an amusement park because of how many people there are there. So, like you get there and there's like this arranged
Yeah, it feels a
parking and
bit
all this shit.
overpopulated. So it feels a bit
Definitely.
more of like an attraction instead of like nature.
Yes. And Big Bend, we went into this national park and it was like us, like we were the only motherfuckers in the whole national park. It was absolutely insane. So getting to experience that with like no one, it felt like truly vast and just so empty. It was the closest thing I felt to being in the middle of fucking Mars. It was awesome.
That sounds cool. I've
Hmm.
never even thought of like being like in a barren location like that, just alone. I mean, I've been in scenarios like that, but like in the
Hmm.
woods. But that's a different feeling. Like being like
Yeah.
in the woods alone is like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a different atmosphere, a different kind of vibe than just
Ye-
being out in the middle of a desert and then seeing as far as you can and just seeing no one or
Yeah,
nothing. Like
absolutely. Being able to see like I don't even know how many miles it was, but like just miles and miles. It was just endless nothing. It was like, dang, we if something happened to us right now, we would not be able to like call for help or anything. We didn't have service or anything like that.
did you think it was just a cool experience, like feeling or just being in a desolate area like that, or what was exciting about the experience? The fact that there was a
It
risk of like if something happened, nobody.
it was the just tons of vast mountains and landscape
Oh.
that you could experience at somewhere like the Grand Canyon sort of, but you wouldn't be able to experience that with that many like with no one around.
It
You
was
would
just you
be
and nature. It was like
uh-huh.
it was unadulterated nature beauty.
Uh-huh. And so I think yeah, that was one of the cooler places we went. Another really cool place was Sedona in Arizona. It's just basically this little mountain town covered or like surrounded by red rock mountains, and it has tons of like creeks and just really nice trees and nature all around
Hmm.
it. And that place was really dope. I understand why there's so many like weird spiritual chicks, those like those fucking chicks that do
Yeah,
bath salts
yeah,
or something like that
yeah.
there, because
Worship the crystals and
yeah,
shit. Yeah,
because I would be too if my fucking landscape looked like that.
bro. Honestly, I've been up to North Carolina a few times, and like I've been to the mountains, Tennessee, and stuff like that. And there
Hmm.
was just some of our family owns a house up there, and we were I remember one time I was pretty young. We were out there, and I was sitting on the balcony, and I was like looking through the trees, and it's such a crazy experience being on like an elevated balcony on the side of a mountain, looking out through the trees and seeing more mountains, like a valley, empty space. I look out my window here, I see like a pine tree and a lake, and like that's it. Like I don't know. It's
Yeah,
it
it's definitely
there's
like an
something about
amazing
it.
sight.
Just being in a different environment like that. It's pretty enjoyable. I'd love to live in the mountains. I want to live in Colorado. I want to move to Colorado so bad. I know it's not the most mountainous in the world, but it's pretty fucking crazy at the higher elevation areas. Plus, the weather is phenomenal all year long. All year long. Have you ever been to Colorado?
I haven't. I really want to go.
Yeah. I went there. I went there on a ski trip where with like my with my church back in like high school. I think I was like a freshman, and I went with my youth group, and we went on a ski trip to Colorado. It was a lot of fun. I wasn't the best at skiing, but I definitely was not the worst. My mom broke her knee.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
on that
dude.
ski trip. It was horrible. It was not a fun time. Um, that was crazy though. But you said that you were getting excited to go skiing because it's like, I mean, whenever fall and I guess whenever it starts snowing, it gets colder out.
Yeah, they said last year it started snowing this month in September.
Oh my God.
I don't know if it'll snow in September. It might snow by the end of this month. It very well could, but I'm definitely expecting snow by October. So
Nice.
that it would be nice to start skiing then.
Bro, we gotta come up and visit the homie. Go on a ski.
Definitely, that would be pretty cool. Just, I mean,
That'd be funny.
going skiing or camping out here. I really want to go camping maybe this weekend. I'm just the only thing that is sort of drawing me away from it is the fact that I don't want to get mauled by like a bear,
Yeah,
because
that is like
that'd be real deal happening all the time. And I haven't purchased like a gun, like a because I want like a short barrel shotgun or
yeah.
something to protect myself from bears and whatnot while I'm camping and while I'm hiking. Because
Yeah.
I'm if I go camping, I'm definitely gonna go somewhere cool and like hike around
Mhm.
Alaska. But yeah, it's like a real thing up here. People get trampled by moose and die, or mauled by a bear. I think this month or last month, well, technically last month since it's the beginning of September, within the last
Hmm.
month on base here, someone, one of the soldiers got mauled by a bear on base.
Jesus.
Hmm. Yeah, he and,
Bears
and and he
built
died.
different out in Alaska, bro.
Yeah, and he had bear spray on him.
Oh my God.
And the craziest part was it was him and one other person, and he had bear spray and a gun on him, and he got mauled by the bear, but and his friend didn't have anything, bear spray or mace. So his friend was just hitting the bear with a backpack, trying to get it off and couldn't. So I guess that's an important thing to know. Like, at least have your friend give one of your bear defense
Yeah,
weapons to your
exactly.
friend too.
Yeah, like have both parties be armed for sure.
Hmm.
That's insane. Good God, poor guy. I suck. I don't mean to laugh at,
No, no,
but
it's
just
so
imagine
crazy.
just walking down the road and a bear jumps you, and like you got everything that you need to defend from this bear, but you just can't because you're already getting mauled.
Uh-huh. It was And the crazy part
It's,
was it was on base too. That's why, like when I was on Fort Bragg in North Carolina, I
mhm.
could go running into like the woods on base and wouldn't really give a fuck.
Mhm.
Because there's no bears that are gonna maul you. One time I did run into like a coyote, just it just running down.
Yeah, I
Just in
bet.
in the middle of the night, it was like a really pretty large coyote, and I just ran back the other way. But other than that, I've never really ran into any wildlife there. Compared to here, I've already seen bears and moose, and I almost ran over a porcupine the other day, but I didn't. So
Bro, Alaska sounds wild. It sounds like you're like it sounds like you just got dropped in like a just like a different location, a different world.
oh,
Like,
definitely, it's so much more different from North Carolina.
even I'd imagine even it's compared to Florida, bro. How
Oh,
different it is compared to
it's
Carolina, no,
it's not
South Carolina.
even it's not even close to Florida.
Like, he said it, there's nothing similar.
There's especially all
Mm,
the mountains and stuff. Because I mean, honestly, it's really pretty. Just even outside my window, looking outside my window, you can see tons of really tall mountains.
yeah,
It's a nice view.
I thought it was um I mean, maybe you can see like there like a relation between between Alaska and Florida with like maybe the bears are kind of seen like alligators, so like
Yeah,
they're like low key an actual threat.
yeah. It would be like if the alligators lived in the woods and could climb trees.
Yeah.
That's what it would
Oh
be
my
like.
god,
If
bro.
you were just walking through the woods and could climb trees and just then I'd be scared from
Imagine getting
alligators. But
jumped by a gator in a tree, just walking
yeah,
past.
see that's why I was never too scared of gators, because like, yeah, I can maybe like climb a tree or some shit. But bears, them things run fast.
Yeah,
You're
they're
not
pretty
outrunning a
quick.
bear.
Yeah.
You're not out climbing a bear. You're just like, you better just like play dead or something.
Oh my god. Um. So how has being stationed in Alaska be like via your work? How has it changed your work life or your maybe social life, anything like that? Has anything changed, or do you miss anything, or
Um,
what's your initial reflections or responses?
I definitely miss, my old buddies that I worked with,
Yeah.
because I had been with them for a couple years or a year or so, and I was used to seeing them every day and hanging out with them.
Mm-hmm.
And work wise, I would say, because I was in the 82nd and they're a very like high speed, hardworking unit,
Mm-hmm.
this is a much very slower paced area. So I feel like we're not, working on the mission quite as much anymore. And I'm not totally opposed to it, because it means more time off of work. Like
Yeah.
this week I real deal probably worked, oh my god, 3 hours.
Yeah. I
I
don't.
worked three
Yeah.
hours this week. Yeah,
Dang.
yesterday I worked an hour and a half, and then I think Tuesday I worked an hour,
So
and
what
that
do you
was
do
about
when you're
it.
at work? If you're not working, what do? You just kind of like.
We were setting up like equipment to fly, to fly drones, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was working on some like admin shit because I'm still sort of in processing to my unit. So I was kind of working on that. It was kind of like my own thing. I was like, oh, I gotta go get someone to sign this piece of paper.
No.
But
Well, what about so like, do you have to be somewhere for the rest of the workday? Like,
so the way it works is, if they don't really have anything going on, they just say, hey, go back to your room. Just stand by. If we need you, we'll call you to, if we have something that needs to be done. And a lot of the time, there's nothing that needs to be done, so I just end up chilling in my room till 3 o'clock or so, and then I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm good for the day.
nice.
It's sort of just like
Bro,
being
that's
like, just they do a lot of being on call, basically. Just make sure you're kind of close by, so if we call you, you can come help out with whatever's going on.
nice. I
Com-
mean,
compared
do you think it'll ramp up at any time, or do you think it'll get slower? actually.
It'll
Like,
definitely get slower. They said that during the winter they do a lot of standby in their rooms because just all the
it's
snow and
probably
stuff.
cold. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably like,
and we can't fly in snowstorms, so we're gonna not be flying.
dang, man. Well, I mean,
Which kind of sucks, but it's whatever.
taking a break.
I'll be playing
Yeah,
COD or something.
yeah, like just chilling. I mean, can't really go wrong with it. I think it'd be pretty cool to kind of like up and relocate for a little bit. That's the most appealing part of the military to me. Is like,
hmm
I would be really interested in being in the Air Force. I would love to be some sort of pilot. Not necessarily. I don't even have to be a fighter pilot. I wouldn't want to do something like that. I could be like a
hmm
cargo transport pilot or something like, nothing crazy. But um, you know, it, it's just there's so much shit that you have to do to get into the military, and plus there's the like the physical exams and stuff. I got super flat feet. I heard that they don't let people with flat feet in. If you've ever had to use an inhaler or a nebulizer, you can't get in, especially if you're trying to be a pilot.
Just lie.
Yeah, I mean I could, but
people people if so the only thing is like if you real deal think you can go on a run without I'm not saying right now, right? Like
yeah,
obviously no one's going into the military being what the military wants them to be. But if you think that you can, go on runs every day for let's say a month and not die because of you using an inhaler in the past or something like that, then I don't think it's that important to tell them
okay.
that.
Yeah, true. It's one of those things. The thing is I don't think I could do a run every single day without having
Yeah,
to like use an inhaler. I don't.
no.
No.
See,
I mean, I don't have the worst asthma or anything, but I do think
mhm.
I have exercise-induced asthma. I can feel my airways restrict whenever I'm working out,
Yeah,
which is a thing. I was looking it up, and yeah, it's called exercise-induced
yeah,
asthma. It's crazy. It's weird.
yes. So if you real deal think you have that, then yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
But even running every day, like if you think you could do a run 2 times a week, then you could definitely probably run every day because running every day just makes it way easier.
Oh, true, probably. I mean, like,
But
I think I could do it, but I don't think I do. I think it'd be hard.
uh-huh. We had someone who in basic they had lied about having asthma and they went in and and they had like real deal asthma
Yeah,
and they in basic they're like, yeah, I can't do it anymore, like I can't run because they might have had exercise induced asthma or something, but they were like, yeah, I can't do it anymore, I'm not going to be able to make it out, so they left basic.
that's
Didn't
unfortunate.
They got like med boarded or something like that, I don't even know what it was.
I mean, it kind of goes to show, like, why it's there, though, kind of thing. Because he lied at having it, and then it low key bit him in the ass.
Yeah, I I don't even know if it would have bit him in the ass though, because sometimes people lie about having a pre-existing medical
Oh, true.
condition,
Okay.
and they will get out for having that medical
Yeah.
condition. Let's say you have a bad back, right? You get in, you're in for like a year and a half, and your back starts hurting even more. You're like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, I can't work like this. You go to the doctor. You're like, hey, I got a bad back.
Uh.
They never knew about your bad back,
Yeah.
and they
Oh,
go,
dang.
oh, this
Oh,
is
hold on a
service.
minute.
This shit
Yeah.
is service related. Here's your 60% disability for the rest of your life. You're getting out. Like it happens. It happens to people, and they benefit off it. But um, it I would say try not to lie.
Yeah.
To them about whatever you've done, unless you really think it's unimportant and won't affect you.
Yeah, that is if I go. I don't know. I'm still thinking. I mean it was literally it was mainly like a childhood kind of dream, like
Yeah.
something that I wanted to do when I was a kid. I kind of always loved planes. I still really like planes. It's just an expensive like it's an expensive hobby or it's a literal lifestyle. So
Yeah. I think a good route to go, and this would probably be like the most cush route out of any job in the military, would be going officer. So getting like a 4 year in college and then going into the Air Force. That would definitely be the most cush job because officers are sort of more desk people.
hmm
You know, they're more likely to work behind a desk. I'm not saying that you're not going to fly because as an officer, you can definitely fly, but you won't be doing all that random bullshit where they're like, okay, we gotta go load up equipment into a warehouse, you know.
I'd be the brains, not the brawn.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, true. I mean, that'd definitely be probably the route I would go if I did. But I mean, you're flying drones, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I think it would be fun to fly drones. I mean, is it what is it like flying the drones? I mean, is it straight like how much learning did you have to do when you started flying the drones? Like
A lot.
how intensive was the training? Is it are the drones really that hard to fly?
It's more knowledge based than skill based.
Okay.
You have to know, you know, the ins and outs. What does this button do? What does this button do?
Yeah.
But skill wise of actually manipulating the bird, it is
Mhm.
very easy.
Yeah, the skill wise
I
of moving the bird,
I
yeah.
could put
Okay.
you I could put you into a shelter to fly the bird, and I could say, hey, fly 20 kilometers this way to this point, and and I could explain to you how to do it in 10 seconds and you would be able to do it.
I mean, I don't doubt it. I
It is simple as it is quite literally like some of the modes on there. Like probably the easiest flight mode for it is you look at the map, right? And you see your little flying drone on the map.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not little, but you see
Yeah.
your drone on the map flying, and you click to where you want it to fly, and it will fly there for you. Like it can be
All
that
right.
easy.
So
So
is it mainly UAVs you're flying, right? It's like
yes, UAVs,
reconnaissance, yeah.
reconnaissance, and we also do laser designating. So
Okay.
what we'll do is we have a laser designator on our payload, and
Okay.
we will basically shine a laser onto whatever target is, and that will guide the Hellfire missile that will get shot off from like an Apache or something else. Usually it's an Apache. So
Mhm.
we'll guide that Hellfire missile to whatever its target is, whether it be a school or a tank. You know, it can be either of the two.
Yeah.
I real deal. One of my instructor operators, he's like one of my good buddies. You know, I drank with them a lot. They had always mentioned to him like they always kind of joked about him because while he was like deployed in Iraq, they had him blow up a school.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was like, oh, was there any kids in there? Like, there wasn't any kids in there, right? He's like, I hope not.
I hope not. Oh my
Yeah,
god, bro. That poor guy dealing with some shit.
yeah,
Blowing up a school, probably not kids in there. Hopefully not. If he's trying to blow it up, I mean,
yeah. No, I think it was more like an abandoned school. Like
yeah.
there were some bad people in there. There wasn't like kids in there.
Jesus Christ. Imagine. being made fun of for blowing up
Yeah.
a school. Jeez. Dude
Yeah.
got the short end of the straw. That's like it's like a high school like name trick. It's like
No,
you drink spilt milk or like spoiled milk or something. No, you're
yeah,
called raunchy.
he
Like
he didn't lose any sleep over it. I'm not gonna lie.
he
He did
didn't.
not give a
No, not at
fuck.
all.
No,
Interesting.
he
Crazy, bro.
he didn't know it was in that school. It would not compared to some other stories of people that I've heard. I was on a detail with this guy one time, and I was talking to him, and he wasn't a UAV pilot. He was an infantry guy,
Oh,
and he was telling me um, when they were deployed in Iraq, he went. They were on like a convoy, and they went through this checkpoint, and it was a checkpoint that they weren't really supposed to go through, but they went up to it anyways, and there was Iraqi soldiers there, and they said like, hold on, wait, right? They like
mhm.
stopped them, so they weren't supposed to go in, and then they were like, all right, come in, turn around once you're inside and get out, right?
Yeah.
That's what the Iraqi soldiers. So after like 5 minutes, they had them come in, and they got ambushed by them. There was like a trench filled with Iraqi soldiers in it shooting at them, and there was also like
Jesus.
another building or two, small building like a shack or something of people shooting at them. But they're in up armored vehicles that it's not really going to do a whole lot. Like they've got pretty good
Yeah.
defense for it, and they have weapons on their vehicles. So his sergeant, who was kind of in charge of him, told him, "Hey, get up on the gun that we have
Get
on."
up onto 50. I
Yeah,
guess.
it was
Okay.
a 50 cal, an automatic 50 cal, and he was like, get up on it, and he's like, okay. So he gets up on it, and at point blank, it is against Geneva Conventions to shoot at someone with a 50 cal. You're not allowed to do it. It's like not fair, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
even
I
if
know.
even though
Yeah.
they were getting shot at, it's like just not fair because the way he described it, well, what they did was they pulled up to that trench where there was a lot of people in, and he just shot down the trench. And
Oh my god.
the reason why he said it wasn't fair was because he said it turned them to mist. Like
Oh my
no joke,
god. Jesus
no
Christ.
joke. He said it was mist. They couldn't even return like return the bodies to the families or whatever because they were real deal, just straight up missed.
Insane.
And
That's
then
crazy.
yeah,
Oh my god. War machines. That like I think it's insane that we use that there's like a 50 caliber like machine gun. Like if it, like when I think of a 50 caliber, I think of like a sniper rifle, like that's like one shot. You're taking one shot at one person, you put it in a fucking in like a Top Gun on a
yeah,
on a Humvee, and you make it shoot about 7 of those a second, 30 of those a second, like
it's
like
something crazy. Yeah,
people are,
faster.
yeah, it's, yeah, like,
And think about just what one does to someone. Imagine like nine of them in someone. That's why it turns into mist.
yeah, that's nuts, bro, and
Hmm.
crazy. So like, in boot camp, I remember you saying that you had to do a lot of like parachute jumps, like jumping out of planes and stuff. Do you still have to do that quite often, or is it
Um,
in?
so to keep currency, because I get paid for it,
Uh-huh.
you have to jump once every 3 months.
Okay.
And it wasn't actually in basic. I never jumped in basic. It
Oh,
was
my bad.
it was a airborne school. You
Okay,
jump
airborne school.
you jump 5 times. I think we jumped 5 times in 3 days. And then like the 2 weeks leading up to it was all of our training for it, learning about rigging up parachutes and whatnot. But yeah, you jump jumps in 3 days, and it is tiring. It is really tiring, just on your body in general, because number one, you're also just being really active, but with how hard you hit the ground because the parachutes, the
Mm-hmm.
T11 parachutes are designed to fall fast. You hit the ground really hard, so hitting hitting the ground that hard that amount of times in like 3 days is really tiring.
Yeah.
And we didn't get
I
much
mean, how
sleep
many jumps
either.
did you were you doing a day?
We would do about two a day.
Oh, okay.
So
So you did
and
like 6 jumps in the matter of 3 days.
well, it was 5 jumps in 3 days.
Oh, 5 jumps in
And
3 days.
it was just it sucked a lot because once you get rigged up, you can't unrig to like go to the bathroom and whatnot. And we there's hundreds of people in there trying to jump, so you will real deal sit in a parachute for 6 hours easy, just sitting there. And if you have to pee, oh well, you're out of fucking luck. Don't pee.
Yeah. Did people piss themselves?
I don't think so. Not that I remember.
Do you think they would have got clowned on if they did?
100%, bro. We would have made fun of. Especially because we're all sitting together. Like, bro, if you pee yourself,
They'd be
I'm,
like, bro,
I'm out,
come
dude.
on,
I'm like,
man.
bro, why it smell like pissing here? But that was like, if you were scared of jumping, you were excited to jump by the time it was time to jump because you're
Yeah,
like, God damn, people were
I
you
gotta
know
piss.
people were hitting the drop zone and they weren't even like walking back to the bathrooms. They were just peeing in the field. Just real deal peeing in the field.
Bro, I
and
would have
or
too.
and because you can't, they wouldn't let us eat until we were done jumping too. So you were like kind of starving by the time it was time to eat, and you couldn't have your phones or anything. So you're just sitting there in a parachute for 6 hours, and they wouldn't let you sleep either. So
So you're just sitting there looking
you're just sitting there
in
like staring at
in a
each other.
plane, right? It's just in a loud plane.
No, not in a plane. You're just sitting in like, think of like a warehouse basically, just waiting
Okay.
for your turn to get in the plane to jump. But you're just sitting there, just like, I think you could like whisper to the people next to you, but nothing more than that. So you're just kind of like sitting there, just like staring at the wall for 6 hours, doing jack shit.
That sounds
Yeah,
horrible. It
yeah.
sounds like the worst experience, no, like possible.
I don't know. I mean, we did get to talk a little bit to our buddies to our left and right, so it wasn't like terrible. But it definitely was like, if you were scared, you were like so excited to jump because you get to eat and pee and talk to people and get out of that godforsaken parachute that's so heavy that's just sitting on your back for 6 hours.
Jeez.
I
So
think
keep going, keep going.
I think like the worst part was like we would do combat jumps. So in addition to having your big parachute on your back, you would have a giant rucksack, which is basically
Okay.
just like a giant backpack on strapped to the front of you. And it was also really heavy. So now you're just like, you can barely even walk. You're like waddling around wherever you go. And it's also heavier. So that was probably the worst part, was when you
I
had to
want to
have that
go.
on.
I want to go skydiving. I mean, it sounds horrible in your experience, but it also sounds like yours is designed to be kind of horrible. Like,
I think it was fun after, like uh like jumping itself was fun, but the way they made
yeah,
the school was kind of lame. But jumping once you're out of the school, just in Alaska or in North Carolina, it's not bad at all. I had some fun on some of my jumps. I got to jump out of like a Black Hawk and a Chinook, and those were
that
awesome
sounds cool.
jumps.
Yeah, because you just
I
kind of like, right? Don't you just kind of like yeet yourself out of the cat? Like it's
Yeah,
the
so
helicopter. Are you like kind of sitting on the edge, right? Or no?
so
Yeah,
for like the Black Hawk, you you they have you sit in, right, and they have like a little
yeah.
strap that they put across to you for when they're raising upward. So you aren't strapped in. So you'll strap in, so you have your parachute, and they have the little troop strap for you. It's not a lot. It's just like a fucking rope.
Yeah.
So once they're up, they remove the strap, and they're circling around to get you to the drop zone. And while they're doing it, like, because of the bank of the helicopter, you're and your legs are hanging out also. Like you're quite literally sitting on the edge of the helicopter the whole time they're driving around.
Yeah.
It is kind of spooky because they'll be banking, and you can kind of feel yourself slide a little bit. You're like, oh shit, like I feel like I'm about to fall out right now. And
Yeah.
even though you have a parachute on, you're over like a neighborhood. So
Yeah.
if I landed on someone's house because of how fast you fall, or if I ran into the side of someone's house, I'm real deal easily breaking both my legs. Easy.
Yeah.
Like you can break a leg easily without just landing in safely on a field. So you're like, dang, if I
Jeez.
fall out, I could break my legs right now. But it was a really awesome experience, just getting to like hang out of a helicopter while they're driving around.
It sounds crazy. I mean, like, for a second, I thought you said that they were. For a second, I thought you were going to like take that story to the point to where they just like kind of like take the helicopter and like drop you somewhere. So like they bank real hard and like purposefully slide you
No.
out. Like I thought that was like it's like a deploy.
Yeah.
Like all right, see you guys, and then
And
keep
now,
going.
now once
Oh
you're
my
over
god.
the drop zone, they'll just like basically say like green light and tell like each person to go, and you just kind of, because you're sitting, your ass is already on, you just kind of scooch off, just jump out.
Mhm.
Compared, which the ride of the Blackhawk was cool, but I think jumping out of the Chinook was the coolest thing. It felt like I was in like a movie because they open up the back hatch, and you like it's just like a ramp that goes down to the edge. And a lot of like planes and stuff, they tell you to jump out so you don't hit the side of the plane. But with this one, they say don't jump because you'll like end up spiraling and you'll get your parachute twisted. They say just walk off, like just so they open up the back and you can just see like the whole earth, and you're just like walking really slowly towards the edge of the ramp, and you just take a step off into like the earth. It's pretty insane.
Do you feel like a sense of like doom whenever you're first or second, third time doing it?
Yeah, it's definitely like a high anxiety thing, like, oh man, I could die. It happens. It is pretty dangerous. We had someone who I don't know how he actually lived. It's pretty crazy. He It was some like weird, like freaky accident thing that never happens, was because we have a reserve parachute also, so two
Hmm.
parachutes, and he had like a double failure where neither of them fully deployed. So he fell to the ground really fast, and he broke like every bone in his body because
Wait, you
neither of his
you lagged out.
parachutes.
I didn't hear you. Audio recording did. What'd you say?
Oh, he so yeah, we had a guy in our class. He
Well, it was yeah, it was right at the end. It was like the last
Yeah,
sentence you said.
yeah. So since neither of his parachutes fully deployed, like they only partially deployed, he fell to the ground super fast and he broke like every bone in his body. And he lived. He somehow lived. He's definitely out of the army now because he's probably a cripple. But like, it's a miracle that that man lived.
Jesus Christ. Imagine like falling through the sky like that and then like think like just being like I'm dead. Like
Yeah,
I'm dead and then waking up. Like
yeah. You don't have a
that'd
lot of
be
time to think that you're
insane,
dead though,
man.
because
No,
they
you don't.
say no. So you count to six, right? You count to six, and if your main isn't out by the time you count to six, you have something like 2 seconds to pull your reserve. Otherwise, you will hit the ground. Like if you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's not out, and you go, oh shit, I gotta pull my, yeah, you're dead. You have to pull it as soon as it hits six, and you're falling still.
Jeez.
Yeah, because you jump pretty low to the ground.
Dang. Low altitude. Oh, spooky stuff.
Hmm.
But all right, Leroy. Um, what's your you're a man of music. We were friends back in band. Do you like some
Hmm.
music? Do you have a few recommendations for the listeners of the Mother-in-Law Suite, the friends?
Listen to.
Mm.
Listen to "Care for Me" by Saba.
Care for Me by Sava. Sava's
Yeah,
pretty sick. I like
yeah.
Sava.
Or if you just want to listen to a song from that album, listen to the last song. It's called "Heaven All Around Me." It's like, in my opinion, like the best song to ever like. It's like the perfect song.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
also, listen to listen to more Maynard Ferguson. That man is
Maynard
crazy. You
Ferguson.
know Maynard Ferguson? That guy, awesome.
All right. Okay. 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 Brady coming out with the left hook and a right hook for the music recommendations. Coming
Yep.
out throwing hands, slugging. All right, what do we got for me? For me, I'm gonna throw a bone to the homie Home Shake. Home Shake. He's like this West Coast kind of lo-fi, maybe like. So, how did someone describe his music? Someone said that his music sounds like what pudding, like a warm chocolate pudding, tastes like. Yeah, it was interesting, but it was cool. It's I love his music. His music's pretty sick. Um, and then the other one, we're going to do. We're gonna recommend Danny Brown.
Nice.
Yeah, Danny Brown, the artist. This time, not a song, but the artist. I feel like people don't like Danny Brown, and I feel like they should. Really
Yeah.
though, with Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah.
phenomenal song. But
I like that album. It's called Triple X by him.
yeah,
It's a good album.
that's cool.
Also, if you haven't watched, he does like a podcast, I think a couple times with, do you know who Joey Diaz is?
Yeah.
He does it with Joey Diaz, and it is so funny. It is the
Okay.
funniest podcast ever. But yeah.
All right. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Well, thank you, Leroy, for coming on here.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the stories and the time. Is there anything you'd like to say? You can plug something if you want. You can do whatever. It doesn't matter. You get a little
Um,
window to yourself.
yeah, follow me on Twitch at Ninja.
At
Follow me.
Ninja.
Yep.
At Ninja.
I
Twitch.tv
play
forward slash
Fortnite.
Ninja.
I play Fortnite. I know everyone likes that. The kids do these days. So yeah, follow me
Oh yeah.
there. That's that. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. All right. Well, thank you, Brady. Thank you, Brady, once again for coming on. And the rest of y'all get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to listen. Oh, you ain't listening anymore. This is my house. Get the fuck out of here is what you're doing. Uh, I might be back next week. Might not. We'll see. Adios. Au revoir. Guten Tag. Guten Nacht if it's night.
Bye. Love you.